The volume of layers to parameter plugin is used to transfer multi-layer structures along with their calculated volumes into a specified multi-line parameter. I start the plugin. Go to the ModPlus tab, then to the ModPlus panel. Here you can see a switchable menu. Depending on the selected menu, different buttons will appear on the tab. You can switch to the Manage tab. On this tab there is a button called Volume of Layers to Parameter. I launch it. When starting the plugin for the first time, you need to create a configuration. A configuration can have any name. For example, I will name it Walls. To shorten the list of types, you can apply a filter by selecting the required category at the top. In this case, I select the Walls category. Filters don't affect the configuration itself, they only affect what's displayed in the plugin window. After that, a list of types appears for which the multi-layer structure can be configured. In the template column, you can see the message No parameter. It means that the project doesn't yet have a parameter assigned from which the template will be taken and where the result will be written, or that such a parameter doesn't exist in the project. To assign these parameters, I need to open the settings. Here you can select parameters from the list. At the moment, the list is empty because the parameters haven't yet been created in the project. The required parameters are a template parameter, a result parameter for instances, and a result parameter for type. As indicated in the tooltip, all three parameters are required and they must have the data type multi-line text. In the result for instances parameter, the volume will be calculated for each individual instance. In the result for type parameter, the total volume for all instances of that type will be written. Therefore, we first need to create these parameters. Go to the Manage tab, Project Parameters. First, I create a template parameter with any name, for example, template. It should be assigned to type with the data type multi-line text. Then I select the category, in this case Walls. The second parameter is the result for instances parameter. I will name it result_inst. The parameters should be assigned to instance with the data type multi-line text. Again, I select the category Walls. The third parameter is the result for type parameter. I will call it result type. This parameter should be assigned to type with the data type multi-line text, and again I select the category Walls. After all required parameters are created, I return to the plugin window. I open Settings again. Now I can select the corresponding parameters from the drop-down lists. For the template parameter, I select Template. For result for instances, result_inst. For result for type, result type. If it's necessary to use a value from a material parameter instead of the material name, you can enable this option and select the parameter from which the value will be taken. Returning to the plugin window from the settings, the template column becomes active. However, it's active only for the categories for which the parameters were assigned. In this case, it's Walls. For other categories such as floors or other elements, the template column remains inactive. Using the filter at the top, I select Walls, so only the relevant types are displayed. In the template column, you need to enter placeholders that define how the structure and volumes will be written. A tooltip window shows which placeholders are available and when they should be used. The add symbol is a mandatory placeholder. As soon as I enter it, the example result column shows how the structure and volumes will appear. Each layer has its structure index depending on how the layers are defined in the type. If you want the result to include only specific layers instead of all layers, you can specify their numbers in square brackets. For example, the layer number 5. In this case, only layer with number 5 will be displayed. You can also specify multiplier layers separated by commas. For example, this will display layers 5 and 4. If a material doesn't have a value in the specified parameter, or if it is empty, for example, if we had enabled the option to read the value from the keynote parameter and the value was missing, you can fill in the material name directly through a special button without leaving the plugin. And now its new name. I will restore the previous settings. If you need to number the layers, enable the Use Numbering option and choose the desired numbering format from the drop-down list. You can also change the separator symbol used after the number. For example, replace the period with a bracket of another character. This is how the structure looks when each layer is numbered. If it's necessary, you can also change the unit format. For example, you can write m³ as text or leave it in exponential format. You can also configure a rounding of the volume values. If you need to add a subheading that should not be included in the numbering, you can place a caret symbol before the add placeholder. Then enter the subheading text and insert a line break. This way, the result will contain a subheading followed by the numbered layers of the structure. After the template is filled in for all required constructions, go to the last column and check the types that need to be processed by the plugin and click Accept. In the result window, you can see which types were processed. Now we can check the values. For the type cavity wall, the result contains a subheading and the numbered layers. Let's also check the instance parameter. Here we see the volume calculated for instance. For the type SIP, the result contains the numbered layers and the total type volume. If we check the instance parameter again, we can see that the instance volumes differ from the type volume. This means the plugin has successfully completed its task.